So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session that we're going to go through is Ask the Experts on unlocking BMC Helix IT operations management. So those that do know the format, how we do this is you will come with some questions, ask us about maybe challenges or questions just in general. We don't have any particular content that we will specifically share with you. It's more about your questions and answers. So it's like an online swarming. We didn't actually have any questions come prior to this event, but we will hopefully get started and get your questions. But first of all, I'd like to introduce the team. So firstly, my name is Samantha Hudson dos Santos Figueira. I work as a program manager in BMC. Some of you have seen my face a lot over the last few months. I run webinars and also Ask the Expert sessions. And I also work very closely with support to get a lot of content onto our YouTube channels, which are the how-to type videos. So my main goal is to provide self-serve content for you to help you get the best value out of our products. So that's a little bit about me. So I'm now going to hand over to my co-host Madhu, if you can introduce yourself, and then we'll go through the panel.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Madhu Kaire, working with BMC software since 5 years and supporting all the ITOM product. So yeah, looking for your Q&As, questions. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Madhu. Don, over to you.
Yep. Hi, good day, everybody. My name is Don. I am a member of our architecture team, our R&D architecture. I support our on-premises deployments through specialization with infrastructure.
Thank you, Don. Nisha?
Hey, hi everybody. I am Nisha. I am the R&D director in charge of on-prem Helix, ITOM and ITSM suites. So ensuring that you get your timely releases and installers that you will enjoy.
Thank you. Ganesh, over to you.
Hi everyone. My name is Ganesh and I'm part of BMC since last 3 years. I'm primarily working around ITOM deployments and ensure that deployments works well with OpenShift Kubernetes. Apart from that, I work with any issues coming around Kubernetes and OpenShift.
Fantastic. Thank you for the intro. Murga? Can you hear us?
Hey everyone.
Hello. Yeah.
Hey, hey everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Murugapan. I'm part of R&D. I'm the engineering manager responsible for Helix ITOM solutions and its releases. And we are here to help you and clarify any questions around or any topics. So glad to meet you and talk to everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Murga. Rajan?
Hi, this is Rajan. I'm working with BMC R&D close to 14 years, and I'm primarily responsible for the quality of the release.
Wonderful, thank you. Himanshu?
Yeah, hi. My name is Himanshu Tomar. I recently joined this year, January. So I'm in the ITOM team and mainly responsible for the deployment of the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Manju. Minal?
Hey, this is Minal here. I have been with BMC R&D for last 16 years, primarily part of the on-prem deployment team, overlooking mainly the DR aspect of the deployment and any in general deployment and around those topics. You can ask any questions on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Minal. And finally, Poonam.
Yes, hi, I'm Poonam and I'm part of BMC since last 2 years. Mostly I'm working on the deployment side only. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. So as you can see, everyone, we've got a big team today, so hopefully we'll get lots of questions. I can see the Q&A has started to get busy, so thank you for those questions. And if you feel comfortable when we do get to your question, please come off mute. We'd like to have a two-way dialogue. Otherwise, just let us know we've answered your question correctly into the Q&A. So I think, Madhu, before we kick off with some of the pre-prepared discussions we've had. Let's maybe go to the Q&A first of all. I can see Ahmed, who's been joining quite a lot of my webinars and sessions. Can we go to his first question? I can see you would like to answer that. So Ahmed, I can see your question was around use cases for remote monitoring when the agent will not be supported option for the OS we seek a monitor, e.g. Cisco OS. What is the advantage of the agent-based monitoring over agentless in terms of capabilities, data collections, and you were looking for some insights. So before Madhu answers that question, do you want to just check that I've read it correctly?
Yes, Sam. So hey, Ahmed, so this agentless monitor that will give you ability to not install, petrol agent on it. And I see you have posted another question as well, which port it will use, right? So it is again the 443. And I see you are asking about advantages. Yeah, I mean, as of now, it is limitation that, if the OS it is not supported, then you would need to use the remote monitoring to perform that. So if you have any additional queries around it, just please unmute yourself and we can discuss on that.
Yes, hello, Madhu.
Hey, Ahmed. Yeah.
Hello. Okay, we have actually a use case for the customer. We have a customer that have many of the used operating system, which is actually not supported operating system that we can use the agent to deploy. And accordingly, we seek to deploy or use the agentless method. And in that case, we just we need just some glimpse if we have some limitation in the remote monitoring that we should be aware of, or we can safely use the remote monitoring in that case. For instance, one of the use cases we have for the Cisco operating system. This one is actually bundled with Cisco and it's based on Linux, but it's have its own flavor. For Cisco, the Cisco really is pushing on many of the tools that it's using, and we wonder if we can use the remote monitoring in that case.
You can use the remote monitoring in that case, but what I will do, I will check with our petrol R&D team because it's more related to the petrol and plus BHOM agent. So I will check with R&D, Ahmed, on that, and I will get details to you. I will send it out.
Thanks,
I see you asked additional question around BHCO. That's something I did not get.
Okay. BHCO, the capacity optimization. We have actually a capacity optimization being deployed on-prem, and in that case, we became aware that it's already have its own agent that is deploying its own agent. I mean, which is different from the BHOM agent. If this confirmation is correct, I'm just trying to confirm the correctness of this information. We already opened a case for that before, and we became aware that there are two different agents, one for BHCO and the other for BHOM. And our question is if we have a deployment that will combine both BHCO capacity optimization and BHOM on the same environment, shall we use both the two agents or okay?
So that connector, so that agent part, that's something I don't know. I will check with my BHCO team and R&D. But yes, of course, you can deploy BHCO and BHOM on the same cluster under the same namespace, right? Because the BHCO flag is also present in the deployment.config file, like we worked on a couple of cases, right? We saw.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
So I will get those details around agent on BHCO and BHOM, whether it is required different or same. Ahmed.
Okay, Ahmed. Thanks.
Thank you, Ahmed. Did you have any other questions? I think we covered all the three questions you put into the chat, right? Just want to make sure.
Yes, correct, Samantha.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So Madhu, I'll work with you to get those final bits because I've got different team members that we can also go to get those questions answered. So thank you for those, Ahmed. So the next question came from Philippe. So he says, hello. Firstly, I have several TSOM customers who heavily rely on console remote actions for various operations. When are they going to be available for BHOM? And hey, Philippe, I can see you're off mute.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey, Philippe.
Hi,
So that Yeah, that question is more related to BHOM's PM. So I will get in touch with PM and will share the answer with you because I'm not sure on that.
Okay, so it hasn't gone to R&D yet.
No, a PM may be aware definitely, but I need to check with the PM what is the timeline for that.
Okay, all right. Looking forward to the answer.
Yep,
Thank you.
sure.
What we'll do, Philippe, even if I need to get out the Q&A first, I'll put in to be confirmed and we'll go and follow up directly because not always can we get product managers onto these webinars or sessions. So we'll go and follow that up for you and confirm that back in the Q&A. Okay.
Absolutely fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, if we don't know what the questions, we hope we have everyone on the team, but often we have to go back. But as long as you know that we'll follow that up and take it away, we'll come back to you personally. Okay. Thank you for your question. Do you have anything else while we've got you off mute?
No, that's it for the moment.
Okay. Thank you. So moving down to the questions, and I can see we've also got a raised hand from Mohammed, and I'll come to you shortly, Mohammed. So Meher has asked a question. I have enabled auto anomaly feature for BHOM 24.1 version, but not able to receive any anomaly class events. What are the prerequisites for auto anomaly? And Madhu, I can see that you've put to answer that question.
Yeah. So Mayur, you just enable that from configuration, or you had raised a support case and feature flag this service which was enabled? Hey, Mayur.
Can you hear us, Meher? Just need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Hello.
Mayur.
Yes.
No.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. So hi everyone. Hi Madhu.
Hello.
Hey, Mayur.
Yeah. So yeah, I had enabled this feature through by raising a case with the BMC support, and by feature flag I was able to achieve
Okay.
it. But somehow, even after enabling the flag for all performance metrics, I'm not able to receive anomaly events.
Okay. There is condition, Mayur, which needs to meet to see those anomaly details. Probably, is it possible for you to please open a support case so we can have a look into it? Because you already confirmed that you enabled that feature flag by raising a support case. So it's definitely enabled for your tenant. And is it SaaS, right?
It's on-prem.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, let's open a support case and we can check that out on a call, Mayur.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mayo, if you want to give me the support details once you've raised it, I'll pass it on to Madhu because even if it's not assigned to him, he can oversee it and we can have a review.
Sure, Samantha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your question. We will go to Mohammed. I can see you're patiently with your hand up. Do you want to come off mute?
Hi, yes, thanks, Samantha.
Hey, Mohammed, you are on mute.
It's gone on mute. Can you hear us, Mohammed? Try again. Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
can you all
Back
hear me
again.
now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's happening.
It's okay.
So yeah, just to repeat myself, my question was related to Patrol and how it behaves when we migrate to Helix. Okay, there's been a couple of things that I'm having concerns with regards to how the Patrol logs are growing to a point that it's causing the disk to fill. Okay, and I'm not sure if there is a workaround or if there is an efficient way of managing these logs. I do understand whenever the disk utilization for the Patrol logs grows above 95, what we usually do is get into server and delete those logs, but it's again a manual task. But I was hoping if there is a better way of managing this, do you know?
Hey, Mohammed, that's more related to the petrol agent, and we are in BHOM deployment session. So what I would do, I believe there is logger in the Patrol agent itself in the configuration where you can control the logging file size, if I'm not wrong. But definitely we will check with our Patrol team and answer you back, Mohammed, on this.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I was hoping we might not have these going forward in Helix. If there was any changes made in that department, but anyways, I'll just wait. I'll work on this with support. Then that's fine.
Mohammed, we might be able to avoid opening a case. If you could just put it into the chat as a question. I work quite closely with the Patrol team because obviously there's the crossover between Patrol, our BHOM, our TSOM team. We've got quite a few different parts and components of the product. So if you can drop that in there. I've actually got someone coming onto my program next week to work with me on content for Patrol. I'll go and ask that question, but I want to make sure as a non-technical person I get it correct. So if you don't mind dropping it into the chat, I'll follow that up to save Madhu having to go to chase everything.
Okay, great stuff.
No worries.
I do have another one if you don't mind me asking.
Go for it.
So when you migrate from TrueSight to Helix, okay, I'm assuming all the dashboards that the users have created on the presentation server remains.
So that dashboard, it is in smart reporting, Mohammed, or it is in, I believe it would be in smart reporting, right? Elephant engine.
I don't think we use smart reporting. It's basically a integration between presentation server and IS and infrastructure server. So it's a small, it's pretty much small setup. We don't have smart reporting. It's TrueSight presentation server.
I believe there would be utility to migrate it, but we'll check with TSOM team, Mohammed, on this. Sam, probably we would need to check with Steve.
Yeah, he's on holiday at the moment, but I know that going back onto the migration tools, a lot were certainly created, certainly from the ITSM side. I know there was one for TrueSight, but I don't have the details, not being technical. So Mohammed, apologies, but we will have to follow that up. There's different people that cover different things, but we'll take that away as an action.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm sure it'd be helpful for everyone else. Actually, we're starting to get a lot more dashboard questions. I work with the dashboards team, and I'm also working with R&D that create a lot of these dashboard views. So you will start seeing more webinars coming up for these. But I'll take that, Madhu, as an action for Mohammed's, both of your questions.
Thanks, Samantha. I appreciate it.
No worries.
That's it
Thank
from
you.
me.
Sorry we couldn't answer it all today. You just don't know until we get the questions on the day, but normally we're pretty good at getting all the answers, but we'll take that away as an action. Thank you for your questions. If you think of anything else, just raise your hand. Yeah, thank you. So just back, Madhu, to the Q&A again. Hanks asked a question about in what way does BMC Helix support us in LCM and vulnerability processes? I don't know if that's a question you can answer or one of the team.
Yeah, maybe I can say something to it. We are using the discovery, and what we see, we implement it. But my question is actually in how far does the BMC Helix and discovery increase the patterns so we can recognize more core technologies, and also in what way can it be connected to vulnerability databases more than it is now? So just a question to it.
Madhu, is that something you can answer, or one of the teams?
No, Sam. So unfortunately, this question falls under discovery. So probably we would need support case for any vulnerability assessment, Hank. So Hank, requesting you, I apologize, I'm not able to answer your question, but please raise a support case with this vulnerability details for our discovery team. So, we can assess those with our respective team and get back to you.
Okay.
I do cool, actually, Henk. When I worked in a relationship support role as an account manager, we did have requirements from customers asking around vulnerability assessments, and that is something that they can pull through on a support case. If you have any issues with the support case, I work so closely with support on a daily basis. I can always go and find who's looking after it if you need any assistance. But I think first port of call, when it's something as specific as this, if you could raise a case, that would be great. And it is with Discovery.
So
I'm
we
assuming.
can put some services into your requests in your service system. Okay, will do.
Yeah, and have you logged support cases before, or do you have someone from your team that can do that? Most customers will have a few people that raise support issues for them, so I don't know if you're the specific person for your company that does that. If you do, then obviously I won't tell you how to open your cases, but if you want to do a case, and then if you have any problems with it, then let me know. It's not a problem. I can help.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Madhu, hello. I can see you've put your hand up. Do you want to come off mute?
Yes, Samantha, and thank you very much, guys. Actually, I'm not good from BHOM or TSOM, but I'm actually a pre-sales guy, and I know complete suits, whatever. I'm a more expert on discovery, ITSM, and client management, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that we are recently doing a POC for one of the best customer in Saudi Arabia. What exactly we are facing issue is developer tools we installed and we configured for TSOM to BHOM connector, basically. For instance, we are not getting any TSOM to BHOM events, actually, since we are already trying with the BMC support, basically. Is it so that hard that, just for our connector, our tool is not able to get the things? Because, even when we install the connector also, it was taken a long time. The steps are very pretty clear, just 6 steps, okay? But the thing is that it has taken to load the connector. It has taken almost 6 hours something, because we thought that the connector was missed and we missed some step, but we didn't, basically. After one day, we got the connector in the selection list. Somehow we are happy. Then finally we configured the connector, and then we are not able to get any event, and we open a case, basically. But when it is a BMC product, and again a BMC product, we are connecting to the TSOM to BHOM, and we are not able to get the things, then how can the customer can be rely that way, that because customer is looking at us, basically, that because it's like integration tools or whatever, okay? Is it so tough, or because I'm curious to listen from you something, so that if you want, I can share the case, and you can be always in the CC with that case. What do you say?
Hey, Madhu.
Just can you guide us, basically?
Hey, Madhu. I know that case. I guess Girish is working with you, right? And Sunil is having your intelligent integration case. And on that,
perfect. Yeah, you are on the.
Yeah, I follow all the cases. So I mean, on that, we had suggested you to separate the TSOM connector and the II's stuff from there, right? So probably due to that, it is causing the issue. But I see Girish already escalated to our BHOM R&D, and we are top of it, So I will get it expedited, and we'll keep you posted. But at the moment, is it working or it is not working, Madhu?
Actually, I'm actually looking for Girish to call, because we are on the Ramadan holidays from tomorrow. And at least see BMC come up with some good solution, and once we back, because our main goal is to, before the Ramadan, we get some events, okay? The POC has a lot of data. Then after the Ramadan, because we have 1 week holidays, and the data is pulled from TSOM to BHOM, and the lots of accumulated data, we can play with that, basically, for best POC. But now the data is not coming at all, and now we are under pressure, basically. So that's where I just want to open the topic in front of you.
Okay.
So,
no, because what I'm saying at the moment, the server which you are using for II plus this TSOM plugin, it's overutilized. That's something I'm saying from Sunil's email. But don't worry, I will just
at
go
least
through
1 or 2 events should come, right? We are expecting not thousands of events. Okay, we want to make the happy customer that yes, something is coming, 10 events, 50 events, something. We are not expecting a flood of events where we can't say memory utilization or space utilization, and we are
agree.
under more
Okay,
pressure.
Madhu. Yeah. Sure. I will get in touch with Girish after
Thank
this,
you,
and
thank
we'll
you. You are already
schedule a
looking
call.
at it.
Definitely.
Can
Yeah.
I keep somebody CC on your level, or can somebody share the things, or no?
That's fine. I am already watching it. Sunil's plus Girish. With Girish, we already had a discussion in our SWAM call where we discuss all support cases. So I already had discussion. I will speak with Girish and we'll get the call scheduled. Madhu.
Thanks, Madhu. Take care.
Yeah,
Thanks.
but I guess tomorrow you guys are not working, right?
Yeah, but please give the preference because even though we are not working, the problem is just some workaround or R&D or whatever. When we come back, at least we have some solutions that we can continue our work without customer feedback on us. Basically, that's
okay,
where.
Madhu. Yeah, got it. Got it.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Madhu, at least you know it's been looked at. So it sounds like the other Madhu already knows about it. So I don't think me being in copy is going to make
Yeah,
any
I'm
difference.
working with Madhu on multiple cases. I had worked with him.
Great names,
Excellent.
think alike.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in hand. I trust it's in good hands, which it is. I don't really need to be involved in it, but certainly if Madhu has any problems, he's got management chains. We have protocols internally we have to follow. So hopefully it will get resolved very soon. But thanks for bringing it to the table. Do you have any other questions before we go to the next question in the Q&A?
No, Samantha, thank you very much. That's
Okay, thank you. So Meher, I see that you've got your hand raised up. Do you want to come off mute? I know we tried to earlier and there was a question that you put into the chat about any plans to include Hill APM solution connector under intelligent integration. So we'd welcome you to unmute if you can hear us.
Yeah, so Samantha, before going to my question, on similar lines like Madhu Dora raised some concerns regarding intelligent integration, I also faced the similar experiences with intelligent integration while configuring Dynatrace for one of my customers, again in Saudi Arabia, where we configured it, but somehow the metrics were not able to get the data inside that whichever metrics we were able to pull it. Okay, first of all, not all metrics were able to come to BHOM, but for infra, for example, CPU, memory, or disk related metrics which were we were able to pull, they were not getting that data inside those metrics. So somehow, like even in my experience, I felt like that intelligent integration tool needs more what can I say, more efforts to be put on from maybe the product development side to make it more easier for us to get it implemented at the customer side. It's kind of a feedback I would like to give. No queries on it, but yeah, it was quite tedious and difficult job to get these details. Though the connector was available, still we had to put a lot of efforts.
Hey, Mayor, thank you. Sure, we'll convey this. If you have any support case around this for this problem, just let us know. And one possible solution, maybe I'm not sure whether it would be applicable to you or not. You can create the multiple pipeline instead of bringing the tons of data from Dynatrace in single pipeline. You can divide the pipeline. That's something we are suggesting to customer when there is a huge data in the Dynatrace which needs to be bring to the BHOM. So that's something you can try, but definitely we'll share this feedback with R&D, and if you do have support case, please let us know.
Okay, sure. Just one suggestion on it, like management zone filter is not available for pulling the data from Dynatrace in intelligent integration. If that can be added, it will be quite easy for us to bring application wise data by filtering, by making the filter through management zones. I think we have given that feedback to Praveen from that intelligent integration team.
Okay.
But again, you can also make a note of it.
Sure.
It will be very helpful if that can.
Okay,
we can
Mayur,
have that.
got it. Yeah. Praveen Sudarshana, you are saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He was on our last one, which we did on intelligent integrations, actually, Madhu, our last Ask the Expert session. So let's just make sure it has gone forward.
Okay. Regarding my query, Heal APM solution to be added as a connector under intelligent integration. Are there any plans coming in future?
So Praveen, so Mayur, I mean, R&D and PMs are working to add more and more connectors to II, like you are saying, right? We are introducing many, but we have introduced a REST connector as well, Mayur. By any chance, using that, it will be possible to bring the Hill, this Hill stuff to the BHOM as well, right? So maybe you can have a look, but definitely I will speak with PM on this. and I will get the RFE created for this connector as well.
Okay, sure. I'll explore that connector, Madhu. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mayur.
I think also, Madhu, if we can just provide a link or any details around that connector, if we can touch base offline, and I'll include that in the Q&A as well.
Okay.
Okay, great. Maya, do you have any other questions?
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So back onto the Q&A again, Madhu. The next question we had is, what is the minimum permissions required for patrol user which is not affecting patrol agent monitoring performance? For example, if I'm monitoring Microsoft SQL Server, what permission required for patrol user in this case? I'm guessing you're probably going to say that's a patrol question. And I know I did a webinar on Tuesday around Microsoft SQL Server. I need to have a look into it, not being technical, but I will speak to Ashwini and Mahendra in the support team. So whoever did ask that question, I'm just going to put a note back to say I personally will follow up with support and get that response for you, because we don't have anyone with patrol experience on here. Okay, that's the questions that were covered. Obviously, Mo, I've seen you've put your details in for me to go and follow up on your questions. So thanks for those. I'll come back to you on that. Do we have any other questions or anything else anyone wants to share? Okay. Why people get the opportunity, Madhu, to have a think about any other questions they may have. I know you and I have been working together the last couple of months just on producing content, getting a lot of videos out onto YouTube as well. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about some of the content that's been provided?
Yes, sure, Sam. So, hey everyone, we are working on a couple of videos which we already created, and one or two is yet to publish on YouTube. So on that, most of the pain point we heard from the customer after the deployment, the activation email, it is not received, right? So for that, we would need to use TCTL. We have good documentation, but we have also created the videos as well for that, which will take care of how to configure TCTL and how to send the tenant activation email again. And after that also we have received multiple support cases that the administrator user is gone. Now there is no administrator available on the Helix portal. How to assign permission or how to create additional user, that's something it is not possible. For that also we have created good video which will talk about TCTL and which will give the steps how to create the administrator user using TCTL using first user option. So that's something also we have created. Then we are receiving multiple support cases around what is the best practice to configure the load balancer backend and the Nginx ingress. So we do have the documentation in the ITOM space, but we have created one documentation with the help of our SEAL team, which is already available. So that's something also we are going to share. And for FI also, now most of the customer using FI load balancer as well, right? So on that also, we would require best practices to configure what pool to use, what backend to use. Like Mayur asked one of the question, right? Whether cluster IP is also used or load balancer IP needs to be patched. So we have PPT from our SEAL team, which we will be sharing with you after the webinar. Sam will share that. So there are good stuff. Just go through it, and if you have any questions, just let us know.
Thanks. And any links, we'll be sharing all of those after today, all the documentation. And I'll also share, obviously, Madhu, the videos that have been created. For those that haven't already, we've got quite a few different YouTube channels. Don't be dismissed on the fact it's called TSOM. It was originally when it was set up in 2013, but it has all of the intelligent integrations, intelligent automation, any ADEs, content as well is included in there. And we also have a service ops channel, and I will share all those YouTube channels for you to join. I know there's quite a few people on here that actually look after more than one product, so I'll make sure that you have access to these. Madhu, was there anything else in particular? I know we've done obviously a couple of webinars and we've worked on specifics. Is there anything you want to particularly highlight based on the conversation we're having around the topics today?
I guess this is good, but if folks would like to review the software load balancer configuration, we can discuss those questions. Like Mayur also is there. He is also raising a couple of support cases around that. So guys, please unmute yourself. If you have any questions, we can discuss those.
Yeah, hi Madhu. So actually, yes, means it becomes very confusing sometimes. Like, when should we go for the cluster IP as a service, or when should we go for a load balancer as a service? And what are, means, in which scenario we should pick load balancer as a service or a cluster IP as a service, and what are advantage and disadvantages of using any of those?
Yep, sure, Mayur. So that's PPT which we are going to share with you. That would definitely help. But if you are not offloading traffic at the LB level for specifically F5, then you would need to mount that Nginx Ingress secret with the LB certificate, right? So probably let me just open that. I don't have LB access, but I can talk about this software one. So let me share it. Let me know if my screen is visible, guys. Mayur, visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yes,
can
it
see it.
Yeah, okay. So this is HA proxy configuration. I just did cat to HA proxy configuration file, and you can see the backend, right? So this is, I'm not mounting any certificate over here. So I'm just passing the traffic as it is to the Nginx Ingress to offload the traffic over there, right? And this option you are seeing because if most of the customer using multiple master node with keep alive D, so this parameter is mandatory in that case, right? So you can see over here, I'm just doing list connection. Customer can use the round robin as well, right? I'm passing the traffic to each worker node and on this port. So if I will come back to the Nginx Ingress service, we can see that it is 443 and to this port it is bind, right? So I'm passing the traffic to this port. That means I'm passing without offloading the traffic from the load balancer. And then I have mounted the certificate over here for the Nginx Ingress deployment. So that's the best practice configuration which we recommend, and we will be sharing this documentation as well. And coming back to your question for F5, we have that we have got the PPT as well from our SEAL team, which describe the configuration, Mayur. That's something also we will share.
Okay. Okay, Madhu, thank you.
I think I heard you. Were you asking like the differences between a load balancer service and a cluster IP service?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so there's actually three different kind of services that you could run into when you're using Kubernetes. You have the cluster IP is kind of a basic internal networking solution that will allow you to centralize your connections to all the different pods that are behind it. Then you have what's called a node port service, and the load balancer is a type of node port service. It's an extension. What the node port service does is it will expose a port within the range of 30,000s on your actual worker nodes. And what that does is it allows external traffic to come in to the cluster on that port, and that as if it was being routed inside of your Kubernetes environment. What the load balancer's version of that does is it attempts to simplify the node ports in the sense that you might have dynamic IP addresses on your worker nodes, which is very common in a cloud environment. So if you do not have the luxury of having like a static IP address that's dependable, what the load balancer service will do is it will create a single IP address and then does a bunch of black magic abstraction to essentially route to your different worker nodes and get into that whole process. But the load balancer service isn't necessarily available to a Kubernetes cluster. It has to be implemented by, most commonly by cloud providers. If you are running bare metal, there is a essentially like an extension to Kubernetes you can install called Metal LB that will implement the load balancer service so that you can get that single IP address that makes it easier to manage up and down worker nodes and the dynamics that might be attached to your IP addresses. But the short version of that is if you have a node port exposed in your service and you have a set of worker nodes that your load balancer is available to, you can provide those worker node IP addresses to the load balancer, allow it to cycle traffic to those, and then it will manage to get the traffic into your cluster. So in this case, over to your ingress controller. If you can implement a load balancer because you're using a cloud or you have a metal LB solution, that's even better because then you don't have to manage the IP layer. You can just say, this is my IP address to my cluster.
Okay. Just thank you so much for the information. Just in case of if you're using VMware Tanzu, AVI is I think the out of the box load balancer service available. And as you were saying that we might not have to configure this backend for such kind of load balancer, which are integrated solution with the Kubernetes solution. Correct? Is it my understanding correct?
Yeah, I don't have very specific domain knowledge with that specific cluster, but it's very likely that if you look up their load balancer implementation, they'll tell you whether or not it's available. But the main idea is if you're able to, you could always just create your service as a load balancer and wait to see if it comes up with an external IP. So when you do like your kube control get service on the namespace, it'll have like a cluster IP, which is the virtual IP for your network. And then you'll have your external IP, which is granted by your actual network, right? So if you see an external IP populate, you're good to go. If that external IP does not populate, it means that you do not have a load balancer implementation, most likely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dom, for adding a bit more information on that. Madhu, I'm not quite sure if we covered Madhu's other question around documentation. I'm guessing that we're going to provide quite a lot of documentation from today. I don't know if you wanted to add on the uninstall and removing of connectors. I know that we've got quite a lot on BMC docs. Did you want to add anything? I know you've put to answer it live.
Yeah, Madhu, you're referring over here intelligent integrations connector or the TSOMs connector? That's something I just wanted to confirm.
The one in the developer tool, what we install the connector, right?
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
that there is no documentation related to uninstall and start the services also related to that. It's plain.
Okay.
After that connection is done, there is nothing after that. But I saw other connectors have a little more documentation, but especially for developer tools connected, there is no as such.
Okay, Madhu. We'll get it added. We'll update you. But if you'd like to stop it, just Docker stop and that container ID. And then if you'd like to remove it, Docker RM and that container ID.
Yeah,
so with
remove
that
is
help,
okay.
it would be.
That we did it actually, but there is no document. I was just want to, but how to start and stop the connector services? Same, just like Docker.
Yeah, Docker stop and container ID. That should work for you.
And start the same Docker commands.
Same, yeah. Docker space start and that container ID, whichever you stopped it.
Okay. So I have to save the container ID every time.
It will be there. If you'll do Docker space PS, it will be first column. It will be having your container ID. There will be multiple. Yeah, there will be multiple, but you just need to focus on that TSOM connector one because you have deployed II plus TSOM on same server.
Right, but when I stop it, the container will be there, right? Is it that?
Yeah,
way,
it will be there. Yes, it will be there.
I'm just recalling all the things because, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Madhu, that's I think all of our questions. Obviously, we need to go away and construct some answers to them. We've done them obviously verbally on here. Was there anything from the rest of the team that you wanted to add from listening to the dialogue and conversation? Any other topics that you want to bring up? I'll just open the floor to our panelists. Okay. And I guess just a final call for those that are still on the call. If you have any final questions for the team, please raise your hand or put them into the chat. Otherwise, I will give you 10 minutes or so back of your time. We always schedule at least an hour for these sessions. And if there is any follow-up like documentation, creating new content, we take those away as well. It sounds like we've got quite a few key topics, Madhu, and follow-up. So I don't know if anyone else has anything different to what's already been asked. Okay, I think based on no further questions, I'd like to thank all the panel today. Thank you, Madhu, for co-hosting with me and our wider panel. Hopefully everyone's found this informative. We will be running a few more of these sessions over the next coming months. You will receive, once the Q&A is completed, a link. I will also share the recording with you, which will get put up onto YouTube. If you have any queries about other content that you found that's missing, we work very closely with the documentation department. Please fill in the survey, which will take you about 5 minutes. And do reach out to me if there's any other topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So thank you very much to our panel. Thank you to the customers for joining today, and thank you for the dialogue, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.